Okay, testing. Can you all hear me? Okay. We gathered together today as a dear family and friends of Gloria B. Newman. As we mourn her loss, let's also celebrate the full, rich life she led. Death has taken our beloved Gloria. Friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence, there's lamentation. In their tears, there's loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For her love that united us in life, and which death cannot sever. For her companionship, which we shared along life's path, and which still continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of her heart and her mind, which brought us joy and happiness, and now become a precious heritage of the Spirit. For all these and more, God, we give you our praise. In his sorrow, Job cried out, Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach. God has given, God has taken away. Blessed be the name of God. An ancient people, we are well acquainted with grief and with the valley of shadows. Death and sorrow are not strangers to us, yet the centuries have taught us the good name endures beyond the grave, and there is strength in faith. With Job we say, Adonai Natan, God you have given. You gave us a loved one who will not be forgotten. For all was good and enduring in her life, we offer the deepest thanks of our hearts. A poem by Kathy Z. Take time to talk, we may ask of all things unknown to you. Take time to laugh, for smiles relinquish sorrow and spread happiness. Take time to think, for the realm of knowledge is never ending. Take time to see, for there is beauty in every part of the world around you. Take time to feel. The emotions of your heart often control the reasoning of your mind. Take time to live, for each day is filled with new opportunities that will be gone tomorrow. Take time to dream, for survival is forever challenging the powers of your imagination. Take time to love, for the sharing of all these things is the true miracle of life. Proverbs 31. A woman of valor who can find, she more precious than fine pearls. Her husband trusts in her, and so he lacks nothing. She does him good, never harm, all the days of her life. She perceives that her labor is rewarding. Her candle burns on into the night. She reaches out to those in need, extends her hands to the poor. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she faces the future cheerfully. She speaks with wisdom. The law of kindness is on her lips. Her family rise up and bless her. They sing her praises. Many daughters have done valiantly, but you excel them all. She's achieved success, who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent men and the love of little children, who has filled her niche and accomplished her task, who has left the world better than she found it, whether by an improved copy, a perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who has never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who has always looked for the best in others and given the best she had, whose life was inspiration, whose memory a benediction. Adonai ro'i lo exar bino desha yar bitseni, amei menachot yanachaleni. Please join me now in the familiar words of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, and restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. The Baal Shem Tov, the Hasidic Rebbe, observed that there are three ways we mourn. The first is with tears, the second is with silence, and the third is with song. When we mourn someone truly beloved, we experience all three. Tears at first, then silence as our grief settles more deeply. But finally, song as we're able to celebrate the memories we hold deep in our hearts. And today may be a time for tears as we say our final goodbyes to Gloria. We each remember Gloria in our own way. Gloria was a beloved mother to Steve of blessed memory and Nadia, Dale and Carol and Cheryl, Alan, Seth and Sarah and Matt. You all remember Gloria as your devoted Nana, and she was an adoring great-grandmother to Lisa and Ari. Throughout her life, Gloria was a cherished wife to Richard of blessed memory, a caring sister to Jay and Ruthie, and Donald and Renee, both of blessed memory. And Gloria was a dear aunt to her many nieces and nephews. Gloria was born on May 5th, 1930, here at St. Luke's Hospital to Hyman and Sarah Blauschild. Jay reminisced how they grew up on Grantwood, just down the street from the old Jewish Center. They hung out there all the time. During the Depression, their grandparents moved in with them, as well as their Aunt Seal and Uncle Jack. To Jay, Gloria was the best older sister. She literally took care of him like a mother. Their mother lay sick in bed for 3 years before passing away, when Gloria was just 11 and Jay 8 years old. Gloria had tremendous influence on Jay, and he in turn was very protective of her. Once a group of people were bothering Gloria, and Jay took a stick and threatened them, saying, "If you bother my sister, I'll beat you up." Soon their father remarried, and Gloria had a difficult time with his second wife. She sent Gloria off to boarding school during her early teen years. But then Gloria came home and graduated from Heights High in 1948. Although Gloria had a difficult childhood, she had many friends and later became a loving, generous matriarch to her entire family. Gloria was working in a 5 and 10 when she first met Richard. He came in all the time to buy goldfish. Actually, Gloria was fixed up with Richard's brother Bob, and her neighbor Rita was fixed up with Richard. But the girls decided they liked the other's dates better, and it was a good choice because they both couples ended up getting married, and the girls became sisters-in-law. Gloria and Richard were married at Lakeshore Country Club by Rabbi Cohen on September 4th, 1948, and they honeymooned in Puerto Rico. Steve was born in 49, then Dale in 52, and Cheryl in 54. Gloria was very busy with 3 children born in 4.5 years. But their house was always welcoming, with relatives living in the attic, like Jay or Renee. Gloria enjoyed doing crafts like decoupage or gardening in her flower garden or her zucchinis and tomatoes. And she loved to entertain and throw parties. She hosted Rosh Hashanah dinner and the meal before the Yom Kippur fast, Passover Seders, and Hanukkah dinner for the family. Gloria always threw wonderful parties for Richard's milestone birthdays. She was a great hostess and a fabulous cook. You will remember her chopped liver, gefilte fish made from scratch, pumpkin pie with homemade whipped cream, or Richard's favorite, blueberry pie. But Gloria was best known for her delicious challah. For Gloria and Richard's 50th anniversary, they had a party with a travel theme because they loved to travel, and they gave out luggage tags as party favors, which we checked yesterday to find their actual anniversary date. They visited China, Japan, Egypt, Africa, Israel, South America, all over. Gloria loved dogs and always had one. Trey, Schnapsy, Betsy, Lady, Missy, Muffy, and Charlie. Gloria and Richard moved to La Jolla when he was called into the reserves, and later they moved the family to Texas in 1960, but returned to Cleveland in 66. A few years later, at the age of 40, Gloria fulfilled a lifelong dream and went back to college at Tri-C. The boys were already away at school, and Cheryl was in high school. Gloria took it slow, taking just one class at a time throughout the entire year, and Cheryl helped edit her papers. Gloria finished Tri-C with the social work-related associate's degree, and then enrolled in Ursuline, where she finished her bachelor's. She continued on at John Carroll, one class at a time, and earned her master's in social work in 1985 at the age of 55. She was so proud of how she had persevered. At one point, Richard had all 4 of them in college at the same time. Gloria was a professional volunteer. She helped monitor for over 35 years in the gift shop, or organizing quality bi-weekly entertainment for the residents from her big book of performers, or leading her Mish and Nosh group, where she led conversations about the residents' memories of Jewish Cleveland, or shared a good joke. Gloria donated a bread machine to the hospice so they had nice warm bread, and she won Volunteer of the Year. She was involved in the auxiliary board as well. Gloria instilled volunteerism in her children and her grandchildren's lives. She taught them to help give other people a better life. Gloria was also always helping out her family. She bought groceries for her mother-in-law and aunt and helped to raise her niece Hallie. Seth remembers how his grandmother took him driving to help get those 50 hours needed for his driver's license. His mother was scared to take him on the freeway, but Gloria would. Why reading the newspaper? She always had an opinion of how to get somewhere, and you best follow her way or you'd hear about it. And remember, you speed up if the light is changing. Matt and Seth and Alan remember sleeping over in Nana and Papa's house. Gloria always volunteered the boys to do labor for her, moving the winter clothes downstairs and the summer upstairs, or vice versa. She had always had a way to keep them very busy, but at the end you could ask for a piece of candy. And at 8 p.m. at night, you got your ice cream, and in the morning, a special breakfast. The boys remembered their grandparents were always available for whatever was needed, picking up at school, an extra set of hands for their parents. They were very generous with their time. Gloria loved to take her grandsons to the Children's Theater one Saturday a month, or to Disney on Ice or the circus each year, or just the movies. You were only allowed one treat. But the boys quickly figured out that if they ordered candy, they could still share the popcorn, which Nana was sure to get. Gloria was an expert shopper in both quality and quantity. She was very fashionable and had a good eye. Gloria loved a good sale, and she could wear Cheryl out with her big bag of returns. Carol remembers the Dalton factory outlet. You never needed to leave the dressing room. Gloria could be your runner. She had so much energy and could last for hours. Whenever Carol's mother visited from New Orleans, Gloria was quick to say, "What do you need? Boots, a coat?" Gloria was very devoted to her family, and one of the things that was most important to her was the Blauschild Family Club. Starting back in the 1930s, while the wives and daughters would get together on Wednesday afternoons to play cards, along with a pitcher of screwdrivers and Bloody Marys. And as more of the women began to work, it was moved to Saturdays once a month. The men were invited twice a year for Hanukkah and the summer picnic. The cousins used to buy trees in Israel, and more recently they started to give gifts to needy families for Passover. The fact that it's still going is totally amazing and was very, very meaningful to Gloria. So you need to keep it going. So today may be a time for tears because we were saddened by the loss of Gloria, but we learned much from her, especially how to care for one another. Let these tears serve to strengthen and uphold you as a family. There's a story in our tradition about a rabbi who once passed an old woman planting trees. "Oh, woman," he called, "why are you planting those trees? You'll never live to see them blossom." But the woman replied, "My ancestors planted trees, not for themselves, but for us, that we might enjoy their shade and their fruit. I do the same for all those who will come after me." Gloria planted an orchard for each one of us, an orchard filled with devotion and with love, and these will always be here for us. We must be grateful that we are able to share in Gloria's life. Tomorrow there'll be fewer tears, more silence. As the Baal Shem Tov noted, it will be a time for pondering, a time for contemplation. Gloria will become a greater part of our characters and our beings as we integrate the memories and the values she taught us into our own selves. But finally there'll come a time for song. A time will come we can celebrate Gloria, and we recall all that we learned from her and how she touched each of our lives. May she rest in peace. Zecher Siracha Livracha. May the memory of Gloria B. Newman be a blessing. Let us all say amen. And I'd like to invite Cheryl to share some words from her sister-in-law Nadia, and then we'll hear some personal thoughts from Seth about his Nana. maybe I'll just pass her the mic. Can I just pass you the mic, Cheryl? Let's see if that works. Then you don't have to clean it.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, is this working? They can't hear anything. Is it on? What? Is it working now? Nope.
Did it go off?
I can go stand there.
I don't think it's on.
What happened? Is it on now?
Yep.
There we go. Nadia really wanted to come to Cleveland, but right now flights domestically are very difficult and internationally even more. It's a very difficult thing. So she is in Prague right now. She lives in Prague and LA. If she were in LA, she would have definitely come for this. But she had these thoughts she wanted everybody to know. I met my late husband, Stephen, later in life. As Steve told me, as soon as Mom found out about a new woman in his life, she wanted to meet me. And we met during my second visit to California. From that first meeting on, Mom and Dad made me feel as part of the family. A friend of mine calls her in-laws in love. I agree. Mom made me feel loved, and I returned the feeling. She will always be my mother-in-law. I thought that was really nice. On behalf of the family, I would like to thank these extraordinary people, to know how deeply we appreciated their care, their compassion, and kindness towards Gloria. I'd like to thank Wendy Donahue, Vinnie Hospice RN, Suzanne Noble, Vinnie Hospice Social Worker, Melissa, Vinnie Hospice Music Therapist. I'd also like to thank Derek Hansen from Cedar Living, David Wolschlager from Cedar Living, and all of the staff at Cedar Living. Lastly, and most sincerely, we want to recognize Shauna Little, who provided exceptional and loving care for Gloria throughout her journey. We love you, Shauna, and thank you. Okay, thank you.
You want to come up here?
Sure.
Thank you.
My grandmother, Nana as we knew her, was truly a wonderful woman. And as the rabbi said, she volunteered her time at Montefiore for over 30 years. It's amazing the impact she made on that organization. She also highly valued her family and was always willing to go the extra mile for us. When I was made fun of in 6th grade for wearing too tight jeans and the same t-shirts each week, Nana took me to buy the coolest baggy painter jeans and Tommy Hilfiger shirts on sale, of course. Can't miss the good bargain. Nana and Papa bought us season passes to SeaWorld and later on Geauga Lake. Papa would ride the occasional roller coaster with us, but we could always count on Nana to ride the Scrambler and those other spinning rides that I can't even think about anymore at age 35. Nana and Papa took us on pretty much every single trip I had as a kid. To Columbus for Ameriflora and COSI, Wheeling, West Virginia, Dallas, Williamsburg, Virginia, Siesta Key, Disney World, and of course Cedar Point more times than I can count. She was generous with her time with us as well. She and Papa frequently picked us up from our after-school activities, especially when my mom was studying for a master's degree. She and Papa would attend every band concert, every graduation, every birthday party, and every holiday with question, and usually show up with a pizza beforehand for the school functions. The fact that my grandmother managed all this, despite a very rough childhood, is a small miracle. She actively chose the route of love and kindness, and taught me the life lesson, taught all of us the life lesson, that you learn both from your positive and your negative experiences, and it's up to you to decide what you do about it. We will all miss you, Nana. I will think back on all of our time together with fondness and pride. I'm so proud that I got to know her for the first 35 years of my life.
Thank you. Just be careful. The board's the board's first. Birth is beginning and death a destination. But life is a journey, a going, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see victory lies not in some high place along the way, but in having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage made stage by stage to life everlasting. If you're able, please rise. We're El Malay. El Malay Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamsei Menocha Nechona, Tacha Chanfei Hashlina, Im Kiddoshim Tehorim, Kazora Harakia Mazivim, Etishmat, Tova Bat Chaim Vesara, Shalacha La'olama, Bal Harachamim, Yasirechu Beseter Kenafav La'olamim, V'yitzur Bitzra Chachayim Anishmata, Denaichuna Nachalta, V'tanuach B'shalom Amishkava V'nomar. Amen. Compassionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our beloved Gloria B. Newman, known in our tradition as Tova, daughter of Chaim Vesara, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace and let us all sleep. Amen. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember her. In the blowing of the wind and chill of winter, we will remember her. In the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring, we will remember her. In the rustling of leaves and the beauty of autumn, we will remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we'll remember her. So long as we live, she too shall live, for she is now a part of us as we remember. It's now our tradition to place some sand on the coffin. It's the last act of devotion we can show to Gloria. And so the first hands that cover the coffin should be hands of loving family. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah v'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlik machutei v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayed achol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman karim v'yamru amen. Yehei shemei rabah mivarach le'olam u'lamei amaya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh V'yit hadar, v'yit alel, v'yit halal, shemeda kudasha v'reichu. Ve'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, namiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'nolma, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imnu amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and cover all the bereaved among us. And let us all say amen. Lech ki shalach Adonai. Go your way, for God has called you. Lech vanai mach. Go your way, may God be with you. V'halach levanecha sivkecha kavod Adonai yaskecha. May your righteous go before you. May the memory of your life ever be present in the hearts and minds of all those who've known you and loved you. And may the glory of God receive you. Amen. This concludes our service. Following this service, the Newman family will be receiving visitors at Cheryl's home, 2452 Richmond Road. That's between Twickenham and Maidstone in Beechwood. Today until 7 p.m. and tomorrow, Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, the rain.
Well, I'm gonna help you back to your car. We're gonna have Fred who's good in your car.
You're gonna let mine grow.
Okay.